In this video, we're going to talk about denaturalization and Medicare/Medicaid fraud. Friends, there are nearly 25 million naturalized citizens in the United States, and some of them are quite worried about being denaturalized under the government's new expanded view of denaturalization. In this one, I'm going to hone in on one category that the government is now looking at, and it has to do with financial crimes against the United States, specifically those of you who the government alleges to have committed Medicaid/Medicare fraud. Friends, thanks so much for being with me. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law, where we believe in immigration freedom. Type in freedom now. Let's get into it. I'm doing a new series on denaturalization. If you have not yet watched my other videos on this subject, be sure to watch those videos to fully understand this issue. In the Department of Justice's June 11th, 2025 memo about the Civil Division Enforcement priorities, denaturalization is on the list. There are 10 categories that the government is looking at now to prioritize their denaturalization efforts. One of those categories includes naturalized U.S. citizens who engaged in various forms of financial fraud against the United States, including through the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, and Medicaid/Medicare. We're talking about doctors as well as poor people who could be targeted for denaturalization. To be successful with this, friends, the government must prove that the person willfully misrepresented a material fact, such as concealing their involvement in the fraud scheme. This use of denaturalization, friends, has the potential of being used in a discriminatory way, and I'm going to get into the details on that momentarily. But according to a professor at Georgetown University, he says that Medicaid/Medicare fraud can certainly be part of a large criminal enterprise, but this tends to be mass frauds by physician offices or networks of bad actors. These are usually native-born U.S. citizens. This policy is likely to target poor people who may have asked for benefits not even knowing it was fraudulent. This policy conflates immigration policy with healthcare in the United States. It is likely to be dangerous, discriminatory, and invidious. How would this actually work? Let's say, for instance, you're a physician and the government is alleging that you're committing fraud. Say that you're actually committing Medicaid fraud in your practice, and you're a green card holder. You then become a naturalized citizen. On that N-400 application, you say, no, I've never committed any crime for which I was never arrested for. You say no to that, and you say no again at your interview. And fast forward some years later, the government goes after you for Medicaid fraud, and you're going through a criminal proceeding with the government. Well, depending on how long ago you became a naturalized citizen, they could actually also tack on naturalization fraud, which comes with 10 years imprisonment on the criminal side. Or if they do it on the civil side, of course, there's no jail time attached to that, but then certainly you'd lose that citizenship and likely go back to your green card holder status. That's one way this could go for physicians. Now, let's say that you're an individual who tapped into Medicaid, those benefits. You weren't supposed to, and you say no again on that naturalization application to committing a crime for which you were never arrested for, and you become a naturalized citizen, and then the government does some investigation years later and discovered that you committed Medicaid fraud or even Medicare fraud, then certainly they could go after you for denaturalization now under this expanded view of things. Friends, this is expanded because historically speaking, our government only went after individuals for denaturalization who committed very serious crimes. We're talking about war criminals, people who killed other people, people who were engaged in ethnic cleansing or some war crime. It was so rare. It has always been very rare, but now the government is no longer making it rare. Now looking at things like Medicaid fraud and Medicare Medicare fraud, this is how it can play out. If you're an immigrant and you're a professional, a physician, certainly this will chill immigration and discourage you from practicing medicine in the United States. So again, friends, I think we should watch how this plays out with the Medicaid/Medicare fraud cases as a basis for stripping an individual of their citizenship. Friends, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you go today. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.